So Will Gluck is out promoting his new movie, One Night Only, which envisions a world in which premarital sex is legal for one night only. And right now he's doing the runs promoting this movie now that it's in theaters. And there have been a lot of people with questions exactly how this world works. What are the rules? How do people know if you're having sex or not? And so right now he's kind of going on a bunch of different interviews, kind of explaining it. But he did one with Variety today that I thought was very interesting regarding the sex and nudity in this movie. Once I learned that, which was all through the editing process for my last movie, I applied it to this movie. But even so, I didn't apply it enough. I cut so much. There was so much nudity in this movie that we shot on the streets. I felt like we needed to show the world that way. As we start to show it to the audience, we felt like it takes you out of the movie. You're engaged in the characters and what's going on, and then you pan over and there are two naked people having sex, and you watch the audience. It's a physical thing. They turn to who they're with, and the benefits do not nearly outweigh the negatives of it. So we just kept editing it out until we got a balance, and those comments went away. Now I have some mixed opinions on this because I get where he is coming from. There are some movies here and there where sex is a vital point to the narrative of the film. Take the 50 Shades of Grey movies, for example. Movies like those is where the sex is part of the story. It moves the story forward. And there are some times when nudity and sex in a movie can easily take you out if it's gratuitous. But when you're applying those kind of rules to a movie like this, like One Night Only, where in this world, you're only able to have sex for one night only, and you're trying to make it as realistic as possible, the way that people would react if this was an actual situation that we were all facing in. We can only have sex once a year, and we can let our freak flag fly. It comes to a certain limit where sex and nudity becomes outrageous and very gratuitous that it doesn't really further the plot in any way, shape, or form. But with a movie like this, like One Night Only, where the sex is vital to the plot, I think this is a movie where you needed to show the sex and the nudity. Not just because, oh, you get to see boobies on screen, but because it is a vital point to the story. And you don't really think that once the ban lifts, everybody is just going to be undressing each other or undressing themselves and walking around the streets trying to find somebody to bang. That is a purpose to this point. I kind of wish, not just because I like the filthy, bring on the filthy, but with a story like this, it is vital to the story that you needed to have the sex and the nudity. It does come to a certain point where it does become gratuitous, but if you're able to show it in a way where it matches the story, it matches the vibe, you really didn't need that to be a vital point in this movie. Yeah, would it have been fun to see Monica Barbaro naked without her covering herself? Yeah, probably. But you know what? Let Callum Turner show his schlong. That I would have been fine with. I'm not picky. Let's go ahead and lube it up. For a movie like this, I get where he is coming from. I get where a lot of people who aren't really big on nudity and stuff like that, who will get uncomfortable whenever they go to a movie like this and they take their parents so they're able to have a fun, good time. I get all that. But for a movie like this, I think this is a movie that really needed to push the boundaries a little bit more. I'm not sure if it's because we have all been sensitized to humor that we also need to sensitize our love for sex and nudity on screen, and I love it. Bring it on. But other than that, I feel like this is a movie that really needed it. But let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Is this a movie that needed it, or is this a movie that was fine without the sex and nudity?